welcome to my channel. My name is Cara and I have an in-process art journaling video for you today using these cute 3 little birds from Collage Soup. As you can see, I had part of my background already done. That was done previously using a couple of Dina Wakley media paints, a couple of pinks added with white, and all I'm going to do now is add some extra details to the background. The original background was made using some paints that I had on my palette. I just plonk them in my journal to use them up because I don't like wastage. So yeah, now I'm adding a few little stripes using this stencil. I will list all the names of the stencils in the description box because at the moment I can't think of what they are called, but this is just using some blue paint that I got here in Morocco. I don't actually like the paint here in Morocco, but it's all I can get for now, so I'm just making the most of it. So I just quickly dry off that layer before adding some more lighter blue and wiping it away with my stencil, reductive stenciling. I love to do this, especially with these kind of sort of loopy, writey stencils that have got all this pattern in them. I just love that it creates the effect it creates. So yeah, I do that in a few places across my page just to add some interest, and then I will dry that again. As you can see, I just use a paper plate for my palette. Again, here in Morocco, there are very few art shops that I've found at the moment, and supplies are quite limited. So I kind of just use what I can, as we all do. As you can see, I'm using an actual hairdryer, which is quite powerful for just drying off my pages. So I have to be very careful with it. I keep placing my birds down just to kind of see where I want them and, you know, what I'm going to do. I had a rough idea in my head that I wanted to have them on some kind of branch, but previously I started a page and tried to draw myself a tree and didn't really like how it turned out. So I covered that one up with some texture paste and some collage, and here I am starting again with these birds. And actually I really liked how this page turned out in the end. Lovely and bright. These are some of my favourite colours, my go-to colours. This stencil is one by Tracy Scott, I believe, made by Paper Artsy. As you can see, it's very well used. I tend not to really clean my stencils that much. I do every now and then go through and have a bit of a blitz clean, but generally I just keep going with my stencils. So here I am again, laying the birds on, making sure I'm, you know, happy with where they're going to be. And now I've decided, I think that that's where they're going to be. So I'm now very sketchily with my white Uniball pen outlining the lovely floral branchy leaf shapes. I love this white pen. It's the only white pen that has never failed me, and I have about 3 of them with me. I was sure to bring them from the UK when I came to Morocco, so I'll just let you watch that for a second while I just outline the leaves. Whilst I'm doing that, if you're new to my channel, which most of you are because it's a new channel, thank you for having a look at my videos. I'd really appreciate if you could subscribe and hit that little bell to receive notifications. It helps my channel grow, so I'd like to thank you for that already. Here I am just cutting out the last few bits of the bird's feet. When I originally cut them out, I didn't cut out the little claws on the bird's feet because they're fiddly, and I'm not very, you know, I don't really like fussy cutting that much. So I left them on there and I've just cut those out. Here I am with a Tim Holtz stencil. Again, it's another one of those scribbly patterns that I love to do reductive stenciling with, but I believe I'm going to use the dots. And there you go, a few little dots. I love to add dots to my pages, and just a little bit of white helps bring that lightness back into my page. So now I'm going to glue my birds into place. So I'm just going to add a little bit of glue using my glue stick, stick them into place, make sure they're all stuck down nice and good. And then I'm going in with my Uniball black Fineliner pen. Again, very sketchy, just outlining my birds just to make them pop out of the page a little bit. I don't want them getting lost in amongst all those beautiful pink, feathery, leafy type branches that I've created. This is my Stabilo All pencil, so I like creating a little bit of shadow with this pencil. You pop it on your page, it is water soluble, then you can activate it with a little bit of water and a brush and it gives you that lovely shadowy look underneath. I sometimes dab mine off with a little bit of kitchen roll, as you can see, just so it's not so wet, and also it gives quite a nice look to the bottoms. Then I've got some paint left over on my palette, so I grab a small paintbrush and I'm just going in and doing a few dots, a little bit of mark making here and there in the colours that I've already used in the background so that it ties in nicely together. Here you can see I'm looking through my stickers for a quote that I feel will match the birds. These are Backchat stickers by Dyan Reaveley from Ranger. I bought a few of my stickers, my favourite ones, with me when I came to Morocco, and they're just all cut up individually and in this plastic little pouch. That was easy for transportation for me. We packed quite light when we moved here, so I had to think about weight and space in my tiny little suitcase, considering I had to fit every art supply I wanted and all my clothes in it. So here you can see I found a few quotes, one for each of the bird, if you like, each of the birds. And I just kind of line them up where I want, sticking just one edge down before I decide on a final placement, and then I pop them down. Sometimes, because these are quite old stickers, I might need to pop just a little bit of glue behind them, but I think these ones actually stuck okay. It's just paint in the background. Sometimes when I've got texture paste or a bit of collage, obviously they will need a little bit of help to be stuck down, and then I'll just use my glue stick or a little bit of PVA glue. One thing I can't find here in Morocco, which is very frustrating, is matte medium. I am missing it so much, but I have made my own, which does the job adequately, I would say. But as soon as I go back to the UK for a visit, I will be bringing some of that back. But as I said, these didn't need it. They stuck down really nicely. Just burnished them a little bit with my finger. I believe I'm going to outline them. I'm just using my Prismacolour pencils here, just to give the birds a little bit more colour. When you print images from these books, I use an ebook, as I said, about storage, so an ebook is perfect for me. Sometimes the colours don't come through true. I also know that if you purchase the books from Amazon, they're not sort of true colours sometimes, especially the black. It's hard to print true black. So I'm using my Prismacolour pencils just to give my birds some colour. So I'll just let you watch that for a moment. I'll try and pop those colours in the description box, the codes that I just showed you on the screen. It does pop up quite quickly, obviously, so I'll try and list the colours for you if you're interested, and then you can just see what the codes are for the pencils, but I'll just continue colouring for a little bit. Now I'm just underlining each little sentiment with a nice bright pink colour. Quite often I do this in black pen, but I just felt to keep the pink flowing through the page on this one, I would do it with the Prismacolours. And then that little tool in my hand is a blending stick. I believe they're from Ranger, but you can get them almost anywhere. And then just to soften the pencil, I'm going over my colouring under the sentiments just to kind of blend that in, softened it up a little, and that makes my sentiments pop. Then I'm back to my Fineliner pen, just doing a little outline around the page. I do like to border my pages, quite often just with a pen outline or a little bit of black ink, but this is quite a nice colourful page, so I just did a little bit of pen. I believe that might be all I do to this page. Oh no, I'm adding some dots using a Lumocolor, I believe they're called, paint pen. Again, Posca's hard to come by in Morocco, so I've had to grab these pens, which they're fine. I'm a bit of a Posca lover, so finding it hard to adapt. And that is my page finished. I'll do a few little close-ups for you, and then I'll show you the finished page. Thank you for watching. And as I said at the beginning, please like and subscribe and come back to my channel for more.